she scanned the horizon. She looked earthward. She checked the keychain hanging from the controls. She pulled back slightly on the stick. Then she stopped thinking and started flying. She climbed to 1,000 feet and circled the field a few times, then brought it in for a good landing. She had been airborne, alone, for 5 minutes. She was a pilot. Pancho didn't want the afternoon to end. Up above the earth, in the pilot's seat, she was herself, with no apologies, no compromises, no holding back. This was an adventure of her own making, and she could have it any day she wanted. "Flying," she told her friends, "makes me feel like a sex maniac in a whorehouse."
"Don't cry, you'll make me cry. But no one wants tears in their waffles." I blinked hard and grinned. I was a sympathetic crier and an ugly crier. Not a great combo. The last thing I wanted was to be out at breakfast with a bright red nose. My uncle always said I got that from Rudolph. That's my uncle. Funny guy. Bet you didn't know Santa Claus was such a crack-up. Bertie laughed.
"Just happy tears because this was so unexpected and sweet."
I shrugged. "You took care of my cat for me. Go ahead, open it."
"I hate to ruin the wrapping, it's so pretty. And that seal, I definitely want to save that."
She lifted the delicate hand-cut crystal snowflake pendant out of the tissue by the silver chain attached to it. The light caught it, sending a shower of rainbow sparks over the table.
"Oh!"
She sat back like she'd been slapped, but in a good way.
"That's the same snowflake from the Winter Court crest, isn't it?"
"It is. Made just for you by my father's jewelers. That's winter elf crystal. If you move the snowflake in the light, you can see a flash of blue inside." I lifted one shoulder. "Winter elf jeweler magic."
He parried a spear aimed at Ark's chest, and Ark's sword shattered the shaft of the weapon. "War is no place for a retired centurion. Go back to your forge, and boast of your war stories to anyone who will listen. I'm sure they'll be enthralled." "Or you could go lie down and have some more milk," said Ark. "The accommodations in the gatehouse," he paused to kill an asteroid that stepped a little too close, "are not up to your lordship's standards. But an old man needs to find his rest where he can take it." "I commanded armies when you were still a boy," said Kobold, blows raining upon his shield. "While your first centurion was still beating the impudence out of you, I was governing the richest provinces of the empire." 2 spears thrust at Ark. He beat them aside and attacked. "Not successfully," said Ark, "since we're about to be overrun by Chiretians." He staggered as the top quarter of his shield splintered beneath a heavy blow. "Then you will have the honour, blacksmith," said Kobold, his blade wounding a Chiretian, "of dying alongside the Lord Governor of Marsis." "I'm sure they'll make a song about it," said Ark. Nicola. Her eyes were closed, and her breaths were soft and steady. He bent his head slightly and kissed the top of her head. "I'm glad you're alive, brat." She gave a sleepy purr.
Did you just kiss me?"
"No, brat." She purred again, a soft kittenish sound that stirred him in places that should not be stirred, while she was pressed so tightly against him.
"It felt like a kiss."
"It wasn't. You'll know when I kiss you."
"I will?"
She smiled against his chest.
"John, promise to do it soon."
"Go back to sleep, Nicola." Bollocks. What had he gotten himself into?